Hello everyone, welcome to Game 3 in a series between Bly and Dayshi. Game 3 in this best of 3, meaning each player has won one game. Bly spawning as the orange Zerg once again on the bottom right hand side of the map. Meanwhile, Dayshi on the top left hand side of the map as the yellow Terran. So Terran versus Zerg once more. I would be really surprised if they'd ever really changed their races. But then again, I do know people and I do know players who change races based upon the matchup. So I haven't seen too many of those players. Most players do try to tend to stick to one particular race, as it is normally a better option for them, as they are really strong with one race and then alright with the other two races. Now, as this game does continue, you can see Supply Depot now being placed down by Dayshi, and we'll see if Dayshi once again goes for that gas opening. He has consistently been going for that gas opening in the previous couple of games, and it has worked well for him once while not working well in another. Dayshi currently just building up some more SCVs, and based upon the spawning locations here, Bly is really going to like how this game is going to stack up. He knows that he is with him being very far away from his opponent, he knows that he can easily run up on 3 bases. Now, because he has not spawned clockwise to his opponent, he knows that any siege tanks trying to position themselves off over here will most likely have to pass through the center or pass by this or one of these two Xel'Naga towers first, meaning that he should be able to respond to it accordingly. Now, Bly with one hatchery already set up, opting to go for hatchery first, and now scouting out the opposite side of the field as Dayshi is going for a command center first. A very aggressive build economically. Yes, there you go. Alright, so yes, I am busy at the moment. Someone always asks me, hey, how come you don't respond to the people who ever message you? Your plan was to scout cross first? So apparently, Dayshi realized that it was going to be cross first, and now a triple barracks on this front door to make sure that no more units are able to push in here. Bly now wandering around with this drone, perhaps going to get some damage onto this SCV as another drone trying to build up a barracks and is able to perhaps trap the drone on the inside. No, the drone able to mineral path his way out behind, and there is that final supply depot. So supply depot is built here, making sure that the units are going to be stuck inside. Orbital command should be upgrading in just a moment as Marines are going to be triply trained. This is perhaps one of the most dangerous situations for a Zerg player to be in. Triple barracks means that there are going to be a lot of Marines. But at the same time, he also has double orbital command, so he's going to be able to get a very strong economy. Now, I'm not quite sure what the options are for Zerg at this stage. I don't study Zerg all too much, and I'm wondering what he's going to try to do. Banelings are a definite possibility, as you do get 2 banelings per larva, and banelings are cost effective against Marines. And I don't imagine that these barracks will be adding on any tech labs anytime soon. Zerglings with metabolic boost most likely should be coming in next. There you go, metabolic boost already being started, as we need to get a large number of drones. Bly really needs to balance his drone count with his Zergling count, and he needs to get Zerglings down at each of these Xel'Naga towers as quickly as possible. But at the same, as true as that is, as soon as he gets those Zerglings out, he's not going to be able to mine nearly as much. So it looks like he will be power droning and hoping that his opponent is not training that many Marines at once. You can see, there you go, triple Marines now being trained, but without stim, without combat shield, he's not going to really go head-to-head with those Banelings and those Zerglings all too well. Now, taking a look at the harvester count, it is 26 SCVs versus 35 drones. And I don't believe that Dayshi knows how far behind he is. You can still see that 6 more drones are being trained. And unless Dayshi does a timing attack soon to make his opponent punish for the number of drones he's creating, he's not really going to be able to play catch up in this economic game. Double extractors finally going down as we are teching to tier 2. Tier 2 opens up a realm of possibilities for Bly, as Bly may try to get up another extractor as well. There are double spine crawlers on the front door. Once again, spine crawlers with a base 2 armor, very effective against Marines. And then the Zerglings can come in and try to finish off the rest. Marines are coming over, taking the Xel'Naga towers, and Terran at this stage, very strong, very powerful, having map control, and we'll see what Bly is going to do in response. 41 drones versus 34 SCVs. It feels as though some of the macro is slipping. Perhaps a missed inject or two. Nope, no missed injections at all. So we'll see how all of this will transpire as Zerglings are now taking down the destructible rocks. And at the 8-minute mark, the rocks are not going to fall for a bit of time. And Bly may end up being behind, as he is currently even on bases. Zerg players want to be up one base if possible, just because of the additional larva and also the additional mining. It really does help them out, as we are now going into banelings. Baneling movement speed should be coming in just a moment. As soon as that baneling's nest is done, you can see that a Marine is going up against a Zergling. The Zergling does not win against that fight. He did not have the melee attack upgrades yet, but he does have it now, and also getting the Carapace upgrades. So the Marines with only a combat shield to try to fight up against, this may be a rather difficult fight here, as we are now going to get even more Zerglings. 18 Zerglings now being hatched. Zerglings got to find themselves in just the right position. Marines now coming in. The Queen taking a lot of damage, but the Zerglings really pushing pressure back onto those Marines. There you go. The Marines now trying to push their way in, but a new round of Zerglings just hatched. The Marines backing off again, but it looks like this group of Marines, especially without Stim and because of the +1 upgrades on those Zerglings, were able to tear through those Marines, even though the Marines had combat shields. Dayshi now with a slightly smaller army, and also only a slight advantage in terms of harvester count, but he does have mules, and that should help. Hatchery being built off over here, as it looks like Bly now looking to expand into the 7 o'clock location. Orbital commands are no longer training any additional SCVs. I'm not quite sure why Dayshi is actually slowing down his harvester count. 49 compared to 54. He wants to do a push, and a strong push at that at this point in the game. Perhaps siege tanks, Marines, and medevacs. We'll see if it's going to be enough. If Bly is able to push back this next attack, then Dayshi may not be in a very, very strong position. He has yet to destroy these destructible rocks, and he is not building a command center. Right as I say that, or start that sentence, Dayshi now building the command center off over here. You can see the 3rd base about to be completed, a 4th base going to be placed down as well. Double expanding as a medevac looking to do a bit of a drop. Medevac pilot giving us a thumbs up, letting us know that she is ready for action, and it can drop over here. Zerglings are now simply lying in wait. A drone, very smartly pulls away. Perhaps he spotted that medevac a little bit earlier, deciding to patrol this location here before it makes its way back down. Zerglings are still running around. Mutalisks are in position as well. The Mutalisks may be able to hunt down that medevac, and that would be a horrible, horrible loss. Are the Mutalisks going to spot it? Yes, spotting it just in time. The medevac almost getting destroyed. No, Marines getting taken down one at a time. The medevac unable to heal up the rest of those units, and Bly with amazing Zerg senses able to intercept that medevac before the medevac could really do anything. What was that? Apparently a very upset group of Marines don't like a tech lab on a barracks, but then again, I believe the necessary upgrades have already been researched. Marines and a medevac off over here. It looks like the Zerglings are going to come in, surround. Nope. What are the Zerglings going to do? The Zerglings are now going to run away. Mutalisks are now coming in, and that's a very bad engagement. Cannot even pick up in that medevac at all, as the Mutalisks would take it down. So, Bly everywhere on this map, really showing his presence, as we are now perhaps going into an all-important 3rd base by Dayshi, but Bly already setting up his 4th base at this time. Dayshi is in trouble, even though the army tab and the unit tabs don't really show too much of a difference. 55 SCVs, 65 drones. A couple mules could even things out in just a moment, but it really feels like Bly has been countering Dayshi every step of the way, as he's now going into 23 drones. 23 drones worth of production. That is going to jump the harvester count into the 80 to 90 range. And with that, the 90 drones now being trained up off over here, they're going to be able to strip mine this very quickly as the Mutalisks now run inside or fly inside the base, taking down some SCVs. Marines now trying to make their way over. It looks like the Mutalisks do not have any upgrades whatsoever, as we are now going into 2-2 upgrades for those Zerglings. Marines are down over here as well, able to push back these Mutalisks. The Mutalisks are going to just be a clear and present threat constantly, as Dayshi may not be able to move out unless he establishes and builds a couple more missile turrets. Level 1 weapons upgrade for siege tanks and Thors now being built as well. Marines are over here. The Mutalisks see those Marines, decide to back off, as the Marines are upgraded 1-1, soon to be 2-2. We are going into pathogen glands. Infestors should be added. Drones now making their way off over here. Are the drones going to do a bit of long distance mining? It looks like they will, as that hatchery is about 12 seconds from being completed. And once again, another double expand across the map. 89 drones, as the Mutalisks are now forced to run away. They're going to fly a little bit too close to a missile turret. Nope, just the right distance, and now backing off. There are Zerglings off over here. Is Bly gonna perhaps get a large group of Marine kills is the key question. The Banelings are off in a very decent position, and now what is gonna happen? The Marines are not falling for the bait whatsoever. The Banelings are now rolling away, as the Banelings would not be able to push against this Planetary Fortress. Planetary Fortress taking down multiple Banelings per attack. Mutalisks still in the air. Army compositions 5,000 to 5,000, but Bly, it almost feels like Bly is giving his opponent time to build up a large army. But take a look at in the bank of Dayshi only at about 1,000 resources, compared to the bank of Bly sitting at about 3,000. He cannot let his opponent get up to 200 food though, as a 200 food Terran army can easily defend against a 200 food Zerg army. Mutalisks now looking around. It looks like there is a Thor in position as well. That is a very bad engagement. Are the Mutalisks going to be able to deal any damage whatsoever? Gonna fly straight in here and catch all of these SCVs out of position once more. Marines already pushing in. They are stimming. It looks like the Marines are going to be able to get some damage, but the Mutalisks clearing out many of those SCVs, getting in an additional round of worker kills, as the Mutalisks may decide to push back down over here. Couple Banelings are grouped together. It looks like the Marines and a missile turret able to push back these Mutalisks. Mutalisks are upgraded 1-0 right now, as we are going into the Crackling upgrade, level 3 flyer attack, Greater Spire, and Ultralisk Cavern. Now, Dayshi running off of essentially 2.5 bases. The Mutalisks able to take one round of attack from those Thors, as the Thor now making its way over. You can see 2 Banelings off over here, 2 Banelings off over here, just in case the Marines do walk out. Dayshi has no idea what's going on in terms of all the number of bases that are on the map. He hasn't even really pushed into the main base at all. Dayshi is at 200 food, so is Bly, and hopefully Bly does not fall prey to a 200 food war with Terran with a large number of ghosts. Ghost is the one thing that Zerg players recently have not been able to really deal with. As of late, a lot of ghosts very effective at dealing with infestors and broodlords, and even Ultralisks, as Ultralisks with mass ghost, 45 damage per snipe, dealing a lot of damage sequentially. Infestors are down over here as well. It looks like Bly, we are going to have this epic war here on Tal'Darim Altar, as this game is going to turn into a battle of brute force. 2-2 Marines, soon to be 3-3. 2-0 upgraded Thors will be able to two-shot many of those Mutalisks if the Mutalisks are clumped up like that. 21 Mutalisks, and it's really going to come down to micro and who can engage better. Now, the good news for Bly, he has Corruptors, and he is going for Broodlords. The bad news for Dayshi, Dayshi has no Vikings whatsoever. Mutalisk getting taken down. Banelings are currently revealed. They're going to get detonated remotely from the help of a Thor, as the scanner sweeps are now slowly pushing out. We are now up to almost 8,000 resources by the Zerg player, and now 4,000 resources by the Terran. So both players are going to be able to replenish their fortress as Zerglings, Banelings, Fungal Growth, Mutalisk, Banelings just completely melting. The Mutalisk not even bothering to Magic Box as another round of Fungal Growth comes in. A lot of those Marines are currently in the red, now being forced to be repaired, as we now see another crazy round of production in 6 Ultralisks. The Siege Tanks and the Marines are going to be cleaning up hatcheries over here, but the Mutalisk, oh gosh, that was very painful to watch if I actually saw it. In comes the Mutalisk. The Mutalisk are going to be grouped together, and it looks like they're going to accidentally fly into a group of Thors, getting completely destroyed right there. None of them surviving, as the Infestors are now backing off. But that did free up more food for Ultralisks, so a lot of Ultralisks currently in production, and we are now going into more and more Broodlords. The Broodlords are upgraded 1-0, Broodlings are upgraded 3-3, as the Siege Tanks are now going to clean up hatcheries all across the map. But right now, Bly is playing like Mother Russia. Bly does have tons and tons of land to give. Still operating off of 3 unknown bases on the right side of the map. Dayshi knowing that pretty much no problem whatsoever. A scanner sweep does reveal some of that, as Marines are now coming in for a drop. Broodlords are now coming in. Level 1 Zerg Flyer or Terran Flyer upgrades now finally coming in as a medevac down to 10 hit points. The Thors and the Siege Tanks need to get away now, knowing that there are Ultralisks and Broodlords. Broodlords, however, moving very slowly across the map, will not be able to get there in time. We are getting the ship upgrades, but we are not getting any Vikings, strangely enough. We are sitting at there is at least one starport that could be training Vikings, as we are now in the center of the map here. Oh, units are being all picked up, and now some fungal growth, chain fungal growth, picking up more and more units. Medevacs trying to fly away. Are the Corruptors going to be able to catch up? Yes, the Corruptors do move slightly faster, and 2 Siege Tanks may go down. Yes, they do, in the belly of that medevac. Ultralisks and Infestors now coming in for the counterattack. Dayshi's resources still very high, but he's no longer training that many units. Why isn't he training up Marines and Marauders, but no Vikings? He doesn't have the minerals to train up those Vikings, as Marines cleaning up another hatchery, but still plenty of hatcheries to give. Medevacs dropping all across the map over here. It looks like Dayshi is going to start to actually deal some damage to Bly, as Bly cannot be everywhere at once. Drones may be forced to burrow. Spinecrawlers coming in, as Ultralisks now come in as well. The Corruptor may get taken down. Nope, it stays alive ever so barely with that base 3 armor. Medevacs, Marines on the high ground here. Army composition 196 compared to 199. Zergling's going to get an easy surround. Marines and Zerglings. The Zerglings, however, with the adrenal gland upgrades, slightly ahead overall. More Marauders and Marines still being added. Where are those Broodlords? Broodlords in the center portion of the map. Marines now finally clearing out some of the stuff underneath this base. And Dayshi finally taking up his 4th base at the 25-minute mark. Banelings are now trying to be morphed. Vikings going after Ultralisks, now pushing in as well. Siege Tanks blasting away. Ultralisks with that thick armor able to just continually push through. Banelings may roll on, as we now get a fungal growth. Banelings now trying to find their target. Ultralisks, and now just giving off more fungal growth. Sorry, Infestors giving off those fungal growth, as those Ultralisks just chomping at the bit, taking down units. And Dayshi now taking a heavy round of losses, down to 100 food. And at this stage in the game, why doesn't Dayshi have Ghosts? Ghosts, 2,400 gas, still training up Marauders, finally getting up some Vikings. Perhaps even Ravens would be beneficial with Seeker missiles. Ravens, very gas intensive, and as long as those Seeker missiles are, you're trading energy for units, always a very, very safe bet. Dayshi now down to half his food count, 45 SCVs, 69 drones. Ultralisks now being forced to deal with these Broodlords. Broodlords are here, and in come the Zerglings. Corruptor's going to take down that Viking very quickly, as the Broodlords going after units. Ultralisks now trying to come in. Some infested Terrans being added as well. And there is the good game. Good luck. So Dayshi losing to Bly in this best of 3 series, a very, very great series. Ending here on Tall Dream Altar, Bly able to come back after falling behind 1-0. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Hope you guys enjoyed it.